It is day 192 of our 1000 Dawns, ladies and gentlemen, and a little bit of a change of scenery, as you might suspect, because why I'm in Wallsend, I have absolutely no idea. In fact, to be honest, I don't even remember how even any of this began. I got up, did me morning little routine. I had the car available for about like 11 o'clock. I said I was only going to go into town to buy some new trainers, and for whatever reason, I just thought, go somewhere where I can, sit down and be quiet for a few hours. Because even my dad gave me the idea of the Metro Centre, and God, I haven't been to the Metro Centre for over a year, and to be honest, even the last time I was there, it was the sort of place that genuinely I would never go again, because it's gone. There's nothing left of the place. It's just whatever shops that anyone could still run, or pretty much either closing down or in complete disrepair. The famous village that was in the Metro Centre once upon a time is, well, either on its way out or nobody can find it anymore. Then, of course, there's Metroland, which stopped being a thing since 2008. I think it was 2008 to my knowledge. And for that matter, I don't. Yeah, you see that this is the thing. This is one of those days where I'm a little bit lost and hesitant about exactly what I'm supposed to do. And keep this in mind, guys. There might have been some opportunity whilst being in Wallsend that I might have come across some guy, some geezer on TikTok called the Judge of Wallsend. I've only seen his videos maybe once or twice, but he's got to be knocking around there somewhere. Come on, he's the Judge of Wallsend. He wouldn't be in Benwall or Fulham or anywhere like that, so he's got to be around here somewhere. Whilst all that is going on, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, there is another thing I wanted to share whilst we're here, and it was because of what happened last night, literally 5 minutes before I was ready to go to sleep. I'll tell you exactly what sort of happened. YouTube released an interesting little update coming into effect on the 1st of February of next year, that in order to qualify for monetization, you would need to have at least 1,000 subscribers and or 20 million views on shorts, or 8,000 hours of watch time on your videos for a full year. And the 20 million views for shorts is in the span of 90 days. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but because it's not 100% going to affect me too much, but what it is going to impact is trying to get other things off the ground, like other channels I'm trying to run, other videos I'm trying to make. It feels like, and it's if it wasn't a slap in the face of content creators already like me, it's also about the fact that a few days ago, quite a lot of ASMR channels also got something close to about nearly over 400 got banned in a single swoop, and the reasons are for these sorts of things are never made clear. Then there's people who get their channels removed because of what they call artificial intelligence tampering, and although what evidence YouTube have to support their decision is, well, confidential, doesn't exist because it's probably not true. And then it's the worst part about it is that if I was, listen, I've been making videos on the internet for 8 years. If I had started, if I had literally started YouTube today, I literally would have quit, because what YouTube is essentially expecting us to do is to turn YouTube into not only a full-time job, but even if it is you can make it a full-time job, even at best you're going to be making at maximum, if you're lucky, about £150 a month, if you are exceptionally lucky. So I would say, to all those who are trying already and all those who are just getting started, the road to any sort of future, any sort of plan for anything that might resemble making a career out of this is just becoming harder and harder, and that sort of news actually it affects people who are already monetized and already have like a thing going in a very different way. Because like I mentioned I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago when I talked about that story about Pixar, and even though one of their movies only made double its return, they still felt the need to lay off over 200 members of staff. And I think that video, I specifically titled it the day I started wanting to stand up for my rights. And even right now, I feel like this is one of those, yes, I think it would be best if I well, here's the thing, what exactly can I do about it then? I mean, you could argue the semantics of, well, actually there's quite a lot to do if I wanted to start, and probably one of the biggest things you could do is to actually, stand up for people who are absolutely caught in a lava with all this. People who've had part of their livelihoods ruined because the system is absolutely busted and it takes no accountability for mistakes or these sorts of actions. So I think I think what I probably should do is actually maybe, I don't know, get in touch with quite a few people who've been caught in this rat trap, so to speak, and see exactly what we can do, because this is going to be an absolute crapshoot for hundreds of people. And again, not just for those who are struggling at the moment, but those who can't even get over the first hurdle or even get their first rung on the ladder. It's extremely disparaging, and it's also extremely unfair. As for me, on the other hand, after about 5 minutes of hearing the news, I had already made up my plans about exactly what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little bit of time. I mean, let's break down the semantics for what they're worth. So today is the 11th of August. The 1st of February is 171 days away. So I would say that there's about 171 days between now and trying to get as many of my channels, well, monetized and running as humanly possible before the change comes into effect. And we've got to try and help out other people who are caught out in this as soon as possible. And I suspect less than 12 hours after the news has been announced, there were probably some people out there, some sort of black marketeers, so to speak, who had the exact same idea. What exactly they can hope to gain from this, they'll find a way. Where there's tragedy, there's trade, and there's enough tragedy in the world, and there's enough black marketeering and plenty of side swipers and people clasping at straws, waiting to find out exactly when the moment to strike is. And I feel like not off striking myself. Some may argue, and it's one of the things I actually do think about from time to time, is that unless you're particularly exceptional and unless you're very, very brave, more often than not, you would actually want to stand up for yourself and to say to hell with the rest of the world, just as long as you're kept fine, pull the ladder up, Jack, and sod the rest. A battle of one against all, and the devil take the hindmost. However, I don't think this is particularly the time to start rolling with the idea that everyone is your enemy. That's not really the attitude to have at the moment. It's because when things like this do happen, with YouTube's change in their requirements, this is the sort of thing that turns people on each other. This is the sort of thing that divides more communities than brings them together. Now, thankfully, it's not too late, but at the same time, unless something like either the system changes or people will literally bend over backwards until they split in two before anything happens. And you may be asking to yourself, why did I need to come all the way to Wallsend to have this out? I think it's because, well, for all the time I had to think about this last night, I still I still, and despite, and bear in mind, I worked, I worked in Wallsend for 3 years throughout the pandemic, from 2020 to 2023. I was the guy responsible who kept somewhere about nearly 12,000 people safe from COVID, and nevertheless, despite all the work I did to keep people safe, I still feel as if by the time it's all over, I'm about as forgotten as the rest. And sadly, that's kind of how I feel a little bit with this situation with YouTube at the moment. It feels as if all I've had to work and all I've had to give and everything I've had to do, it still feels as if, well, they just want to make life that little bit harder for all my work. So if there is one thing, like if I was 6 years younger, I would probably have told my younger self at this point, this is exactly what you're up against. Either you're in it now, or you might want to pull out. And I think I probably would have stayed on. Either it's because I had already given too much already, or maybe I'm just too stubborn. Who knows? However, that's sort of how it is. Almost like a human mule, so to speak. Stubborn beyond words, but one that will stick it out till the very end. Even if he's been dried of all his supplies, and whether he's been kicked in the testicles for the 50th time that day, I will still very much continue. So, for what they're worth, yes, this is, it becomes a little bit more than just trying to make myself a success out of these 1,000 days. It is the fact that I have to make myself a success in spite of everything going on around me, both inside and outside. But with that being said, I hope you like seeing the small little bush, and because the Anson pub is like just in front of me, and I'll see all of you guys again next time. Thank you.